Hello, y'all. It's your Professor Frank Henry Law, and this is a continuation of the lecture, Neighborhood and Built Environment. So how does the environment impact health? So before we jump into that, let's talk about what is environmental health. We know that one of the core disciplines of public health is environmental health. And so environmental health is the branch of public health that focuses on the relationship between people and their environment, promotes human health and well-being, fosters health and safe communities. It works to advance policies and programs, right? It really does a deep dive in looking at what in the environment can be changed. And let's set policy, rules, and regulations in order to force these changes. In the 1960s and 1970s, state and federal government took more responsibility. They realized that they were unable themselves as politicians to really make these different calls or decisions about the environment. They need a specialty team that just focuses on the environment. And so this is when they established the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA. They were established in April 22, 1970. And the EPA consolidates federal research, monitors, sets standards, and enforces regulations for a cleaner US environment. But we need to understand one thing about when it comes to environment. The environment doesn't just exist with what was built, what was human built. The environment also deals with things that are beyond human control, right? So some of them are natural phenomenons, right? Whether it be extreme heat and cold, ultra rays from the sun, toxic minerals and plants, but the government stepping in to kind of help out with these things is not new, right? The government has always been involved in helping out with the cleanliness of our environment and to protect our environmental health, as we've seen throughout history. But what we're finding is the more that our population grows, the more concentration, right? The more people are starting to be in one area. So these urban environments that were built for X amount of people are now being flooded with so many more people, and it's overflowing the system. So we have to think of new ways of how can we really show up and be there and protect the health of everybody with these growing cities. You know, one of the issues that we see right now today is the issues with rats, especially like in New York, Chicago. It's a big rat issue, you know, a rodent issue. And that comes from the cluster of people, the lack of being able to control or to meet the needs of doing all the waste disposal that needs to be done for these big urban neighborhoods. And also the overflow of sewage. So everything just being the system is being over flooded. So we have to find new ways to how to combat these issues. So here are some examples of health hazards, and these are actually what we're going to talk about today, where we are going to talk about radiation, what happens when you get overexposed to radiation, mercury, lead, arsenic, asbestos, and also pesticides. And once again, the one who's in control or who's over providing the rules and regulations and standards to protect us from these things is the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. And that's it for this segment of the lecture.